Yo guys, it's Haunting Lime and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showcasing Shadow Machamp and Shadow Snorlax. This is actually a triple Shadow team and I want to see how well Shadow Pokemon do against XL Pokemon in the Ultra League Premier Cup on the final day before the Retro Cup begins. But guys, before I get started, I want to say a big thank you for helping me reach 300 subscribers. It means a lot, and hopefully I keep producing good quality content and giving out some fun but also strong team recommendations. But guys, the best way to support the channel is to like in the video. It's absolutely free, and also if you can, please subscribe. Only about 10% of my watchers have actually subscribed to my channel, so please guys, if you can, subscribe to my channel. It'll help me out a lot, give me a lot more motivation to kind of make videos every single day. Right now, obviously, I've got to balance my job between YouTube, but I really want to make something of this. So please, guys, if you can, support the video by liking, sharing, and also subscribing if you do like the content. But guys, let's get on with the games. Yo guys, it's Haunting Lime and welcome back to the channel. Today, like I said before, I'm showcasing Shadow Machamp with Shadow Snorlax. So I think Shadow Machamp and Shadow Snorlax make a really strong core, especially against all the XL Pokemon going around. Shadow Machamp is a really strong lead because it does really well against all the XL Pokemon like Abomasnow, Ferrothorn, Umbreon, Galarian Stunfisk, and generally even Lord Ninetales it does really well against. Politoed does really well against. It only struggles against Drifblim XL, the ghost typing basically, and Jellicent. Basically anything ghost typing it struggles with. So I've got Snorlax as the big hard counter for the ghost types. Normally you see Snorlax being paired up with either Obstagoon or Gengar as the kind of core that works well together. But I think Snorlax and Machamp work even better together because Machamp obviously has that weakness to ghost typing, but it hits pretty much everything really hard, and it has really strong lead because it does well against Venusaur, it does really well against Swampert, kind of struggles a little bit against Dragonite, but you can bait shields with your Rock Slide. And yeah, I think Machamp is a really strong lead going into this season, and it's done really well for me as well. And another great thing about Machamp is it can actually threaten Talonflame quite well as well, and you have your Snorlax as kind of that meat shield, which really helps kind of protect it from, well, it really helps you kind of not use your shields. And the final Pokemon I have in this Shadow lineup is actually Shadow Swampert. As you can probably tell, I've been using Shadow Swampert for the longest time, especially in Great League, in Ultra League. It's part of my main core teams because I think it's just so OP. Shadow Swampert, in terms of Shadow Hydro Cannons, really does do so much damage, and my opponent, I think, backed out because he realized he has no play because he let his Venusaur go. And you'll be seeing a lot of people switching into their Venusaur against a Snorlax, which really helps out because it keeps the Swampert protected. But even if that's the case, you'll see a lot more Venusaurs right in the back of the teams, and Swampert can actually still deal with them quite well. So this team is really highly balanced. I like it quite a lot. Machamp, like I said, a really strong lead. You're going to see me getting really positive leads. So again, a strong lead here against Galarian Stunfisk, and he brings out a Gyarados. So what I'm going to do is here is I can go for the Rock Slide because not everyone shields, but because Shadow, most likely to get the shield, so I'm going for the cross chop bait, which always works, and then switching out into my Snorlax. I'm happy to catch take the Aqua Tail because I don't really mind, because I know I can still farm down or do quite a lot of damage with Machamp if it comes to the Galarian Stunfisk, and having that extra bit of damage on the Machamp lets my Snorlax have a much more comfortable game, because even though it wins, it wins against Gyarados, I want him to have energy going into Galarian Stunfisk or anything else that comes in later on. So Body Slam's doing extra amount of damage, so I'm up a shield, I won't switch, and like I said, Venusaur always comes out to play against the Snorlax, and because this is Shadow, these Body Slams do hurt quite a bit. This is why I love Shadow Snorlax, because look, it does chunk away. Like 2 Body Slams and Licks just almost take out a Pokemon, and usually that's all you need. Body Slam spam is pretty awesome with Snorlax, and the reason why I was shielding there is because I was really close to getting to the Body Slam, and I wanted to threaten more health and get the last shield from my opponent, because I know Machamp can still do quite well against this Venusaur, and also, like I said, the Lick damage just adds up so much. I bring in Machamp now because I want to absorb the energy it has. I've left Venusaur in a range now where I can actually farm down with my Swampert without being farmed down myself. I know my Sorry about that, guys. For some reason my video just stopped. I've been having these issues with my video recording setup for some time now. So like I said, I have my Shadow Swampert in the back, and because Venusaur was so low, I was able to farm it down quite a bit, and Galarian Snorlax comes in, and because I'm ahead in energy, I know I can get to the Earthquake before my opponent gets to the Earthquake, because that's his only win condition, and I kind of charged up still a little bit extra because I wanted to kind of get the Hydro Cannon before my opponent obviously gets to anything else, but obviously he was so low, I could have just much shot down, so kind of styling him a little bit with the Hydro Cannon. So on to the next game. This team is super fun to use because it obviously utilizes Shadow Machamp, which gets a lot of strong leads, and against the mirror match, which is really important, you have to kind of just make sure you get an extra counter in. It's not always possible because it depends on your opponent's timing, but thankfully because of he threw there, I was able to actually get an extra counter through, and because of that, my opponent knows he's going to basically lose the match there. And my opponent switched out into an Executor, and a little bit, I panicked a little bit thinking, what do I need to do? But I was a little slow to that, but thankfully, like I said, I've got my Shadow Snorlax kind of cover the Shadow Machamp. It's a really good cover because unless you have a Jellicent in the lead, which Machamp has trouble with, or Gengar or Drifblim, usually you can actually threaten quite a lot with Rock Slide and then go into your Venusaur. And also you have your Swampert as well as a cover for anything else that's ghost typing, because Swampert OP, like I said. And I've still got a shield, so I let my opponent actually shield twice, and he really wants to keep the Shadow Executor alive. Shadow Executor is quite squishy, and I'm able to kind of keep my Shadow Swampert alive and not take any damage, because I obviously want to keep it healthy for the matchup against the Machamp, because I know he'll come back in. I think he's one counter away from, or two counters away from getting to a cross drop. He actually brings out Shadow Pinsir, so I've not seen this. I wasn't really sure what moves it had. I thought I could survive anything it has because I've got quite a bit of health, but actually also a superpower. So here I'm thinking, oh shit. So this is really close now. Thankfully, I had quite a lot of energy built, and Confusion obviously weren't able to take me out. I'm able to take out this Machamp because he had no energy, and thankfully X isn't enough to take me out, and I win that game just by a sliver of health. So pretty solid stuff there. On to the next game. So pretty close. Like I said, this team is really fun because, like I said, Machamp is a really strong lead, and combined with the safe switch of Snorlax, it has a lot of flexibility for a lot of teams. I think this is quite a safe team to play. I wouldn't say it's arguably the best team because Machamp has quite a lot of counters, even though it does quite well in the Ultra League Premier Cup. The reason I would say it's a strong, fun team is because I've used it for about 5 sets now, and I've gone 3-2 quite consistently, gone a few 4-1s, and I just want to kind of showcase how fun this team can be, because you don't need XL Pokemon to do well. I've gone to Legend, and I've gone countless times. I've gone out to 2777 or something, and I've gone up all the way up to 3000 again using only non-XL Pokemon. Yes, I'm using Shadow Pokemon, but if you don't have XL Pokemon, even though I can use XL Pokemon, I'd rather not. I want to basically showcase that you don't need XL Pokemon to do well. You don't also need Shadow Pokemon to do well. All these Pokemon can do well without the Shadow variants. They have a lot more tankiness, and the Shadow variants just give you a little bit more of an edge in terms of damage. Like I said, Venusaur comes out to play, especially against a Snorlax, and because obviously I got a Swampert in the back, I do commit the shield because I want to get this Venusaur as low as possible, because then I can just farm down with my Swampert. I know Swampert isn't really a Venusaur counter, but here, look, I'm trying to do as much as I can. So I get my opponent obviously to a fairly good health. So now it's going to be pretty close. So I do go into my Swampert, and most of my opponent realizes that he's going to get farmed down, or I'll get to the Hydro Cannon before he does. And here I've committed to the overcharge of energy, because my opponent has to throw a Focus Blast, and I wasn't sure if this would take me out, and I was like, this is going to be close, because I tried to kind of. He actually saw a Zap Cannon, which really got me like close, like it got my butt clenching. But thankfully, it was just enough to take it out with the next Mud Shot, and having that next Hydro Cannon ready, I was able to take this Venusaur. So Shadow Machamp has been taking out Venusaurs Shadow Swampert has been taking out Venusaurs from the first game. So it's been putting in a lot of work, and up against another Charizard lead. So unless it has Wing Attack, Charizard isn't really a problem. Dragon Breath can be problematic because your opponent can do quite a lot of damage with its fast moves, but the good thing about Shadow Machamp is he can bait with the cross chops really well, and most Charizards will obviously shield because they know, unless they're counting, and they have really big balls. But this is why I like bringing my Shadow Snorlax in, because he can take a Blastman quite comfortably. And opponent actually goes in with his comes in with a Shadow Machamp, and he tries to farm me down, but realizes he can't. Going for the superpower was the right play here, because I thought if he's going to go for anything, he can take me out quicker. But Shadow Shadow Snorlax still hanging in, even though he took his defense debuff and still carrying on and actually taking out a Shadow Machamp. So Shadow Snorlax, Shadow Machamp counter, and now I've got this Swampert basically lined up with this Charizard. It's pretty much GG now, because even though he could get to a Blast Burn, it won't be enough to take me out. And here, I think I misplayed quite a bit. I wasn't expecting him to get to a second Blast Burn straight away, because I wasn't checking his energy properly, and because of that I will probably lose this game. So even though I had quite a solid entry, I think I should have done a lot better. Go for the cross chop thinking I can get the bait, and he actually has a set fetched in the back. So had I shielded that correctly, obviously it would have been much better for me, because I had a Hydro Cannon ready. So I severely misplayed that. I think got a little bit too confident when Shadow Snorlax took out Machamp. You know, you get hyped when a Pokemon that you think will lose does well against its counter. So you can see this team building me up to almost 2900s again. So yeah, like I said, guys, I've been dropping, and again, another awesome lead, and he goes into Ninetales. I can stay in, but I'm deciding to go into my Swampert, because I know I can outpace this Ninetales to 2 Hydro Cannons, where I can only get to 1 snowy icy weather ball spammers, and I know I can get to at least 1 shield and get it to half health, because most likely this Ninetales wants to win switch, and I'm happy with that, because Shadow Swampert is basically not great against Ferrothorn, and obviously, you know, I still survive that, because obviously I play Shadow Swampert a lot. I know how much damage it can take, and you know, Weather Ball, it hits quite hard, but not hard enough. Now bring in my Machamp, because I also have Snorlax with superpower in the back that can actually handle the Ferrothorn, XL Ferrothorn as well, which is kind of annoying, because Mirror Shot is just... It's annoying. I've seen teams where they run Jellicent, Ferrothorn, and Galvantula, and that is a really annoying debuff team. I hate playing against it, because yeah, it's constantly just going for the baits and debuffs, which really piss me off. But look, like I said, my opponent has a Jellicent, which can counter my team quite a lot. So like I said, counter the Machamp, but having the Snorlax makes a big difference, because like I said, Snorlax just walls Jellicent or any ghost types, because most ghost types are running Shadow Ball on them, and even against a Drifblim that has Icy Wind, it still doesn't do too well. So here I go for the shield, thinking it's going to be a Power Whip, so not great. And I am going to obviously go for the superpower, because it's going to do the most amount of damage. Ferrothorn is super tanky, but nothing can obviously take that much of a beating from superpower. Even though I'm debuffed now, I'm going for this next superpower to kind of do as much damage as possible. And because I know my switch timer is almost up, I am going to commit a shield here. This is why it's always good to have 2 shields. He goes for a Mirror Shot again, which is super annoying. But thankfully, I'm able to do quite a bit of damage against the Ferrothorn before he switches out, because Bullet Seed is quite slow in terms of animation, and I get to a Rock Slide, which does quite a lot of damage to this Jellicent. Jellicent can farm as much as he wants to. My Snorlax is super healthy. Bubble Beam isn't going to take me out. Most Jellicents are running running Bubble Beam, not Icy Wind, Ice Beam, and that is really punishing, because they get walled, super walled by Snorlax. And this is why Snorlax is so amazing in the Ultra League Premier Cup, because there's so many Pokemon there's so many ghosts running around. Jellicent is a really common pick. And again, Snorlax having access to superpower really hits most of the meta, because like I said, most of the XL Pokemon take either neutral damage or super effective damage from a counter or fighting type moves, so able to get that win there quite comfortably. So on to the next game. So I really enjoyed this team. It got me, I've been running, so once I've dropped to 27-77, so another great lead. Like I said, Champ has such a strong opening, and arguably I should have gone into my Snorlax here, because obviously he had his own Snorlax there. I go into my Swampert because I knew I could outpace this Gallade to his charge moves. Snorlax would have been better, but obviously I would have timed the moves correctly, because close combat would have hurt quite a lot. In this case, I know my opponents can consistently go for Leaf Blades, and I can outpace with Swampert. The Swampert, like I said, is busted with his Hydro Cannons. My opponent is deciding to shield. He should have really not shielded it twice, because Swampert will always win that battle, because Mudshot is a really great fast energy generation move. So I get to this Hydro Cannon, and this will be enough to take it out. And like I said, the mud shots were adding up in time as well. If he could have let one Hydro Cannon go through and it would have been fine, because one Hydro Cannon is enough to take it out. And I'm actually able to get to another Hydro Cannon before I get taken out by this Shadow Snorlax. Because shields are down, I do commit to swap. The reason why I swap here is, and also my opponent coming with his Shadow Venusaur is because he would have to take an Earthquake, most likely, because I had quite a bit of energy. And the reason why I swap out here is because I have my own Snorlax in the back, and Snorlax against Snorlax, superpower doesn't take you to the route, but because I've already had the extra chip damage on his Snorlax, I can just come in now and farm this down with my own Snorlax and then throw a superpower on his Snorlax, which will take him out, whereas he has to throw a superpower and, well, 2 superpowers, or at least 1 body slam and a superpower. So my opponent recognizes that and he realizes it's pretty much GG. And yeah, Shadow Venusaur is a really confusing Pokemon in the sense that it should be strong, because Venusaur is really strong in the Ultra Premier Cup, but the Shadow variant lacks that bulk, which makes it a little bit weak. So here, like I said, a low Ninetales, again, not a problematic lead for this team. You know, there's leads like Empoleon, you know, Umbreon, G-Fizz, Ninetales. I can take a Weather Ball quite comfortably, and my opponent switches out really well here as well. And I build up to 2 cross shots, because obviously I know my opponent obviously is behind energy, and then I go into my Swampert because I know I can take 1 cross shot from this range. I could have gone for the double cross shot, but I decided not to, because I want to kind of keep the energy for another time, and I know I want to outpace my opponent, and I do know I survived 1 cross chop from this Shadow Machamp. I still have quite a bit of health ready, so I'm going to farm it down completely, and I go for the farm down, which is amazing because all that energy can now be thrown on anything that comes in. It actually brings out a Jellicent, so winning switch was really important. So quite a common team again, an all Ninetales with Jellicent as like the core, and my opponent actually shielded up the Hydro Cannon, which worked in my favor because I actually had so much energy. I was able to get to an Earthquake, and before I get taken out, I'm always able to get to another Hydro Cannon, which is totally fine. Like I said, Snorlax super heavily walls the Jellicent, and here I'm just going to take the first Weather Ball because my opponent obviously had quite a bit of energy when it came in, and I didn't want my Machamp to go down too quickly, so I am going to obviously go for the shield, going for superpower and then switching out because I'm trying to do quite a lot of damage, and because I have a cross chop ready, I'm totally happy with this next cross chop. If it goes through, perfect. Most likely I get the shield because, like I said, cross chop is neutral damage, and look at those counters. Having that little bit of health let me do so much damage against this Ninetales, and the reason why I'm shielding here is because the hardest hitting damage I want to receive is either a Dazzling Gleam or a Weather Ball from this Ninetales, and basically I'm able to take it out before it gets another Weather Ball, and I'm already a super tanky wall for this Jellicent, and because it's so low, lick damage adds up so quickly, especially Shadow Lick, and my opponent can throw Bubble Beams. Again, he's pretty much, it's GG. There's no chance here for him. Even if he had Ice Beam, I think I would have been still okay. Hex doesn't really do much. Well, Hex doesn't do anything. It's double resisted with the normal and normal and normal typing. I'm not saying double resisted. Obstagoon is double resisted. So yeah, I'm able to get a really comfortable win there as well. So a really strong team. And now I think I start misplaying with this team a little bit more than I need to. So onto a really strong lead. Shadow Machamp loves to see a Bomb Snow, and my opponent goes in for his own Shadow Machamp, and I'm trying the same strat again because I'm ahead in energy. I'm going to throw the first cross shot because most likely I'll get the shield off my opponent, and obviously I can't go into my own Snorlax. I have to go into Swampert, which is fine because Swampert has a pretty terrible matchup against Bomb Snow, and Snorlax again can do well against Bomb Snow, so I'm not too bothered about that. Take the first cross drop, which arguably I should have shielded, but again, hindsight is 20/20. So he lets his Machamp go. He's already down a shield, which is totally fine. He's able to build quite a bit of energy. Now he's going to try and farm me down completely. So this is where my misplay happened. So I was able to actually get to the Earthquake here, and I actually go for the Hydro Cannon. I wasn't sure if I was able to get to the Earthquake, so I went for the Hydro Cannon right on the last second, and I don't think, maybe I would have got to it, maybe I would have been taken out before I took it. So it's one of those where I think I might have actually been taken out because he would have probably, as soon as I got the energy, I would have probably overtapped a little bit, or the move wouldn't have registered, so I wasn't able to kind of do that extra bit of chip damage, which would be quite essential actually for this game. So my opponent goes for a Weather Ball, and he had quite a lot of energy build because he fully farmed down my Swampert. Not great, obviously, but it is what it is. Maybe if I took a little bit more damage from his lead or from his Machamp, would have been fine. And my opponent actually has a regular Swampert in the back. So because of this, I know I can take two. He has to go for 3 Hydro Cannons, whereas Shadow Swamp has to go for 2 Hydro Cannons to take out Shadow Snorlax. So I know I can do quite well against this. So I get the final shield off my opponent, and here I'm going to go for another Body Slam because I think Body Slam is a more energy efficient move. Superpower isn't going to be enough to take out this Swampert, and I go for that, and look how close I get. So, you know, if I was able to lick down a bit more, maybe for a Superpower there would have been fine, but it is hard to kind of know what to do there. And I had Machamp, but this is what I don't understand. How did Machamp lose a CMP tie against Shadow Swampert? Like, I should have won that CMP tie because I had a cross chop ready. I did tap it, maybe I was a little too slow, maybe lag had an effect, but I should have won that CMP, and that one counter would have been enough to take out the Obama Snow. So kind of annoying that I lost that game, but it is what it is. You know, you can't always win everything, and lag is kind of always there as well. This is another game I misplayed heavily, and I wish I didn't because my opponent swaps out into his Galvantula, and I take the first discharge, thinking it's going to be a lunge most likely, and did quite a lot of damage, which is totally fine. I should have really caught that on my Swampert. I always try to go for an over tap because I know my opponent's going to try to throw straight away, so I always throw my cross chop on the third volt switch, which makes him over tap, and then it has a fourth one. So I should really catch then, but I don't know why I don't catch. So my opponent is farming quite a lot. I'm able to kind of earthquake him, which does quite a lot of damage, a lot more damage than I was expecting. And now he's in that range where obviously he kind of wanted to take that damage from the Shadow Swampert because you don't want to be farmed down too much by the Machamp. And here I'm going into my Snorlax because Machamp obviously is quite low and I don't want it to be farmed down, and he has a Shadow Swampert in the back. So here it's going to be pretty dicey. So yeah, had I coped, this would have been much easier of a game. And I do obviously switch out here straight away. Maybe I shouldn't have done this because I had a move ready, trying to get shield for my opponent, but he's able to fully farm me down. I'm able to get to 2 cross chops. So this was my play because I knew I was very close to having 2. Going for the double cross chop wouldn't do quite a lot of damage, so I get both shields here. I've got a shield, but the Swampert obviously has energy now, has tons of energy. Shadow Swampert is scary, like when he has energy. So it has a lot of energy, and obviously it's got 2 Hydro Cannons. And here I probably should have gone for the Body Slam. I go for the Superpower, but realistically speaking, maybe if I went with the Body Slam, I would have still required a bit more, but because I was debuffed, I couldn't actually finish off the Shadow Swampert, and yeah, I lost that game as well. But like I said, guys, it's a really fun team, able to go 4-1, 3-2, you know, still climbing, and that's all you need, positive sets, you know, for a really strong team, really fun team as well. Like I said, Shadow Snorlax has a lot of play in this meta. A triple Shadow team actually doing quite well in that high eel range is quite surprising, because I did try out my triple starter team and got demolished. But no, this triple Shadow team does really well against like a triple XL team. So really enjoying that. So guys, thank you for watching. Please, if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and also like the video, share it, it really helps out, and hopefully see you for the next one. And the Retro Cup is coming, a lot more content coming for that as well. So guys, thank you again, and take care.